You know, there are many choices in internet radio, and the staff and host of LA Talk Live would like to thank you for choosing the internet's hottest destination for the most eclectic sound and invigorating talk. This is LA Talk Live. We are more than just talk.
Welcome, coming to you live from the studios of LA Talk Live in sunny Los Angeles, California. This is Alayna's Beauty Talk and more, and I'm your host, Alayna. We're here to talk about beauty and more in all its expressions every Wednesday at noon Pacific time. So stay tuned, we'll be right back. This is Alayna's Beauty Talk and more on LA Talk Live. We're more than just talk.
No more searching, love, I found it. Ended up with my heart and soul. About time that you know. If you just believe and see like I see, you'll know that the world is yours to own. Just follow my lead beyond material things. It's time to let you know you're better than beautiful. You're better than beautiful.
It started out like a totally normal day.
I love you.
I mean, I guess I was a little sweaty and I was definitely sore. I thought I had gas. Turns out I was having a heart attack. Heart disease is the #1 killer of American women. So now I take care of myself and tell the other women in my life to do the same. Make it your mission to save your life and the lives of the women you love. Find out more from the American Heart Association at goredforwomen.org.
Xavier Tees and Tots, groundbreaking fashion, forward street smart designs. Tees and Tots for men, women, and boys. Visit XavierUSA.com. Once again, that's XavierUSA.com. Hubert's Lemonade, tasty, refreshing, sweet, and tart. Happiness in a bottle. Visit Hubert's Lemonade at Hubert'sLemonade.com. Once again, that's Hubert'sLemonade.com. Happiness in a bottle.
Hi, this is Dr. Levi, your fitness doctor, making a personal house call, inviting you to join me Wednesday at 10 a.m. Pacific for my all-new show, The Dr. Levi Show. Join us as we discuss fitness, health, and well-being, including emotional and spiritual health. So don't forget to tune in to The Dr. Levi Show every Wednesday at 10 a.m. Pacific, exclusively on latalklive.com and the Talk Live Broadcast Network. You can also catch us on iTunes, Radio R&B, or watch us on Ustream.tv, or catch us on the Live 365 network, and now on Radio Flag and Stitcher Radio. Reality radio handcrafted for your listening pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we are more than just talk.
Welcome back to Alayna's Beauty Talk and more. Yes, this is going to be an amazing show. You know that this year I've really tried to devote almost one show a month about the beauty of the arts and inspiring young people to listen to more classical and talk about, classical music, where to go to find instructors, with my very good, I guess you're a very good friend now, and a very good friend of LA Talk Live, the most incredible world-renowned celloist. He's also the executive director of the Glendale Philharmonics. This is Ruslan Barakov. You have to know him by now.
Hey, that's me. Hello. I'm
He's
Russian.
the best. You are definitely Russian. You've
Russian
taught a
guy.
lot of people how to drink Russian vodka.
Yeah. Yeah, we are doing our vodka tasting party on December 6th, by the way, people. It's going to be public.
You're going to be there drinking?
Oh, yeah.
You're not flying the next day.
No way.
He's also very excited. He is now teaching flying. I mean, this man is so talented. I don't even know where to start how talented. I don't even know how you have the time to do everything.
Even I don't know where I get this all time and talents, you know. I personally don't feel that I'm talented. I actually feel quite dumb sometimes.
Well, sometimes you're talented. You're so focused that sometimes your day-to-day stuff probably is very hard for you.
I guess, yeah. Well, okay,
let's get serious.
All right, so...
and then you have to introduce your amazing guest.
Yes. Okay, so just to remind those who haven't heard my Russian accent on this wonderful show, my name is Ruslan Biryukov. Don't try to pronounce it, even I have difficulties pronouncing it. But you can visit our websites, glendalephilharmonic.com and celloart.com. Or try Googling Ruslan Cello, Ruslan Cello, and you will get all the information about it. Now we have two amazing guests here. It's Maestro Fong Ho. He's a phenomenal conductor and violinist and everybody. Teacher. And he conducts... Yay! Here we go! Yay! And he conducts Olympia Youth Symphony Orchestra, right?
Olympia Youth Orchestra.
Oh, okay. Why don't you just talk about yourself right now?
Okay, well, I'm on the faculty at Cal State LA teaching violin and conducting the orchestra.
I think you should move your mic
up a little
bit.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't want everybody to miss a word you're saying.
Okay.
Because you have a terrific voice.
No.
You do. You sound really good on the radio.
Oh, I do? Okay.
Yeah, you do.
So I don't switch my career.
No, we need you in what you're doing, but you can add radio.
Yeah. Anyway, so I conduct the orchestra at Cal State LA and the Olympia Youth Orchestra together. I also teach violin at Cal State LA, and I also teach the string orchestra and string chamber music at the LA County High School for the Arts.
You're a busy guy.
Yeah, on top of teaching at home too. So.
But you teach violin.
Yes, I teach my instrument's violin, and I teach a little bit viola too. So.
Well, they're both string instruments, so they're close, aren't they?
Yeah, violin and viola are more similar. It's completely different from cello, so I can't do one thing on cello.
And right now, the music that we are hearing, that's the Olympia Youth?
Yes, that was an excerpt from our performance from our last concert back in June. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and this piece was the Rodrigo Flute Concerto. The soloist was Viola Chan.
Wow.
Yeah, she's
this
wonderful.
Is beautiful.
Yeah, she's a wonderful player. She's currently in her first year at Juilliard now.
Oh. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, stay into your mic so we can hear you. Okay. But also talk a little bit about because we have a lot of parents listening, and we're going to talk about this throughout the show. If their child is talented and wants to do something like what is it, Olympiad?
Olympia.
Olympia. How do they get in touch with you, and what kind of credentials or do they need to have to even look into something like that, being part of the youth orchestra?
Yeah, there are a lot of different levels of youth orchestras. Some deal with beginning stage, some are intermediate, some are more advanced, and some are actually pre-professional, like AYS in town. They're a fantastic group. So I think the best way to do is to check with the instrumental teachers of your child and see what the teacher would recommend, what level you can go into.
But you accept a lot of children of all ages and all levels, or do they have to try out?
They have to try out. We have an annual audition.
Okay, and that's what I was trying to get at.
Right. Yeah, the age limit is 12 and up.
Okay.
So I don't know if anybody younger than 12 can sit in a 2.5-hour rehearsal for every week. Yeah. So, but there are different orchestras who would do shorter rehearsals for younger kids, and they're all fantastic. Yeah.
Because we have people listening throughout the show, but that part of this is so important to me, because sometimes parents just don't know where to go, and then they don't do anything.
Why don't we introduce Edgar right now, our
okay,
second guest?
You do
because
that.
He actually went through all this orchestra. He actually played in Maestro's orchestra as well at certain point. So we might just find out how his parents... Yeah, he's
the youngest. Yeah, of all the people we've had on. So this is real exciting to have you.
Let the youth speak.
Hello. My name is Edgar Sandoval. I grew up in LA actually, right in the town of Hollywood. And I didn't start playing violin till I was about 11 years old. I started piano when I was 8, and all right here in LA. That's because I kind of grew up with not that much money. I've just with just a single mom. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
you
you're
hear me?
perfect.
Okay, great,
Your
perfect.
voice is great.
Just checking. Okay, and to make the story short, found through going to Hamilton High School here right in LA. My mom really made sure I went to an arts academy high school. That suddenly there's these opportunities for me to exceed to a higher level with my instrument, and meeting all the people that I was around. I think that's the most important thing. Be able to play with other talented musicians was the biggest thing that brought me up to where I am right now. And then like he said, it's Feng, right?
Yeah, Feng. Yeah.
Feng. You said that asking the instrumental teacher, I had the opportunity to do that, and he said, "Oh, you should audition for debut orchestra, or you should audition." He didn't say AYS yet because American Youth Symphony, and those are the two in LA that are pretty prominent and pre-professional. Because I think my level wasn't exactly there yet, but I auditioned for debut orchestra soon after that when I started.
How old were you?
I think it was 18. 17,
oh, so you were older.
17, 18. Well, this is towards the end of high school.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't join a youth orchestra till like first year of college.
But did you play in the orchestra at Hamilton?
I did. Yeah, I played at the orchestra at Hamilton, and there we had. I mean, I feel like I'm a very fortunate person that grew up in LA, like not with a lot of money. And at Hamilton, actually, they did the Disney Channel came in. And I actually chose us out of 500 schools in America to do a reality television show about the orchestra.
Wow!
And and I wasn't one of the principal guests on the show, but there was about maybe 10 main roles. And because I was the concertmaster of the orchestra, they featured me and they showed me playing violin. And I played the Brook Violin Concerto. And so I was on the Disney Channel. Actually, this is about like the year 2002. But this is before. This is before YouTube. This is before all that stuff. So it's actually kind of hard to find it online, and maybe because the Disney Channel doesn't allow it. But that was, from what I know, Disney's last reality television show was.
Last year, Edgar was on one of those national commercials. I had this moment when he was plastered on all this. What was it? Airline? The Delta
United Airlines.
United Airlines.
Yeah,
yes.
United Airlines.
Just sitting in the restaurant, all of a sudden I looked up on the TV screen. I saw Edgar playing violin on the United Airlines.
That is so bizarre. I think when I just bought a new car recently, and my salesman said, "You know what? You look familiar." I was like, "Really? I never see the commercial."
Yeah, he never saw the actual commercial, actually.
Funny.
I saw it. I see it on YouTube, but I don't see it like.
Your mom must be really proud of you.
She is proud of me. I mean, I have a lot of different stories, but my mom told me one time. My friend worked at Coffee Bean. He's also a violinist too, and he made these great, ice blended drinks, and I would always come up to where he worked at, and he'd always hook me up a really, really nice drink, and I always told my mom, I really want to work at Coffee Bean. I want to make those nice blended drinks just like my friend. And he said, "No, you're gonna keep playing the violin."
So is the violin your main instrument?
Violin is my main instrument. Yeah.
And you also play piano?
I also play. I don't consider myself a pianist. At one point, I played the piano and the violin, and I studied them together with different teachers, but it became just too much for me, so I decided just to continue with the violin. Mm-hmm. But let's see what else. Well, now currently, I just finished my master's at Cal State Northridge, and in violin performance, and now, and that was thank you. That was a couple of years ago. So now since then, like Ruslan said, I've actually done a lot of commercial, TV show type of stuff.
Do you have an agent now?
I have an agent. I have a manager.
Okay,
which she goes through the agency.
Good.
And it's actually called Instrumental Casting. Is actually what
Jennifer
she
Walton.
goes. Jennifer Walton, yeah. And she's got me a lot of really good work, and
she didn't get me anything, you know that?
Well, you just have to be nice.
Give her a call.
Or maybe I paid that $50 fee, whatever she charged. Nothing. She just said, "Now we have to wait." This is one of those subjects that we need to touch. The
okay,
music industry, how it works.
Go ahead.
Here's two musicians. Okay, one is cellist, another one violinist. This guy, much younger, and gets a lot of gigs from the same manager. She's my manager as well for the same type of work, you know. Did I get anything from her? Zero.
I hope she's not listening, Ruslan.
Maybe
Well,
you forgot to pay your dues.
No, she was very precise. She was very precise charging my card. I have a receipt to show. But you know, this is just the message to all other aspiring young musicians, you know, who say, "Oh, you know, I'm sitting there without work and everything." Look, here is me sitting without work from the same manager. Luckily enough, I have other managers in the pool.
Well, you have to. You can't just rely on one.
Exactly.
Correct. Yeah.
And you
correct.
guys, I mean, all of you do more than one thing.
Yeah, don't put all the eggs in one basket. that's for
Especially
sure.
until, even I think if you make it, you still have to.
Still
Even
have to,
Frank,
Yeah.
who's not here with us today, but he's on our mind. Hi, Frank.
yeah.
You know, he conducts so many different orchestras
yeah.
so that he stays busy. You do. You
Yeah.
have your you have your clients in San Diego. You have
Correct. Yeah.
the, you know,
the
the
orchestra. I have
orchestra. You got
have the
your
students,
flying. You
yes,
your
yeah.
students. I
Plus the
mean,
performances.
you're all your.
etc.,
I
yeah.
mean, so you're busy.
That yeah, I mean I can't complain really. I'm staying busy. Listen, how can the kids, if they want to join Olympia Youth, how do they apply for Olympia? Do you guys have like a website or?
Yeah, the website is olympiaphil.org.
Okay, spell Olympia just in case people, and, you know, because they're just a lot of people are just listening on iTunes. So
Right.
if they want to write it down or go back,
Yeah, it's OLYMPIAPHIL.org. And just go under the youth orchestra section there. There's a form to be submitted online, and that's it. I'll be in touch.
okay.
So, or another way of doing it, like the way I found your bio, was I just Googled Olympia Philharmonic.
Right. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that's the easiest way.
And if you
probably.
can do youth orchestra, will it come up too? If
No,
they
there
just,
will be a list of youth orchestras.
Yeah.
coming
yeah,
up.
but
That
then you
won't be
can
the
find
particular one.
Olympia under
Well,
there.
you can Google Olympia Youth Orchestra.
Okay.
I think it should come up. Yeah.
Yeah, and we will be playing. By the way, everyone must come on our concert because I'll be playing with Olympia Youth and with Maestro Fonho. We'll be giving the world premiere of Mitsumoto Cello Concerto. It's on my birthday, January 11th.
Ah.
Yeah, I forgot to discuss with him, whether he gets paid extra for playing in his.
On
On the
his
birthday.
birthday.
Ah, what would you do? Yeah.
He could.
Well, maybe we can
You'll
throw
just
a
have
party
to make them
immediately after
talk.
the concert.
Yeah, you'll have to have a big part. Oh, cake.
That's-
Where the concert's gonna be? It's gonna San Gabriel.
yeah,
place?
San Gabriel Mission Playhouse, which is the old mission in San Gabriel.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, it's a great place. It seats 1,400.
Wow.
Big
And
hall.
it's a free concert. So
No charge, folks.
No
No charge.
What time? And
Three-
what day?
Sunday,
It's a Sunday. Okay.
Sunday, January 11, 3 p.m.
Okay.
And there are a lot of restaurants around, so you guys can just go, have fun, have lunch, stop by for the concert. And besides of our concerto, there will be something else, I presume, right?
Yeah, we're doing at least 2 more pieces. The Ruslan and Ludmila Overture by Glenn.
Oh my God! There's an opera by Glinka called Ruslan and Ludmila.
Oh, so is that what you were named after?
No, actually no. Unfortunately, maybe luckily, I don't know.
Maybe
No.
we just play Ludmila.
It's a very exciting piece. The overture, the beginning of the opera, pretty much is when the orchestra. And it's a very fast. We will see how the kids will be doing.
It's so funny.
Well,
really,
we'll see.
This music is so, the names aren't even familiar. And you guys, you hear the names and your faces light up. It's
My
like-
violin teacher's name
Yeah,
is
you can
Ludmila.
see that you're like playing the music
Yeah,
in your
Shimon.
head. It's so cute.
One of
We
them.
should have brought the recording of that piece. We should have played
Yeah,
that.
should have
Ruslan
played that,
didn't-
yeah.
Didn't think of it.
Yeah, and then we're going to also play the Beethoven First Symphony.
Ooh, that's a serious
Yeah,
piece.
Good
right.
one.
Yeah.
So you're going to be really...
It's a tight packed program.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it really inspiring people about
Yeah.
classical music because they just don't get enough of it in schools. It's so foreign to so many kids. I mean, when you were in school, because you were at Hamilton, you were exposed to a lot of classical and different types of music.
Yeah.
But with your friends outside Hamilton, were they familiar with classical?
That's what I see, that not so much. So I think the opportunity is very kind of limited. You have to really kind of make the choice to go to an art school and then be surrounded around it, because I see, especially in the Valley, I don't see a lot of opportunity in the music programs. especially in LA, there's not a lot of funding in it anymore.
Right.
So you really, as a parent, I would suggest you think. My mom, so when I was in elementary school, she was already planning on me to go there, so she made sure I went to Magnets.
Did she know you were very musical right from the very start?
She did, but I didn't actually have an instrument to play on, except for a piano. Actually, my great grandmother donated us a piano, or what is the word? Inherited up front. Inherited, yeah. Donated.
Donated inadvertently.
Somehow you got a piano.
So I was able to. My mom knew a little bit of like Twinkle Twinkle Little Star or whatever, but
And
she
she
just
made a Twinkle Twinkle Big Star. No?
But for some reason, every time I saw a violin on TV or just I saw something, I would always go like this with my hands, or I would just always point at the television and say, "Mommy, I want to play that." For some reason, I always wanted to do that. So
I'm really thrilled your mom actually listened.
she did, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. A lot of parents don't listen.
They don't, no.
To what their kids are saying about music.
Yeah, but there is another thing also. Many parents face this situation. The child goes to the school, comes back home, does homework, and then there is this empty block of time that the child has pretty much nothing to do, right? At that point, parents start thinking, okay, we have to fill the brains of this kid with something. What's something? Well, they start asking the child, what do you want to do? Child says, well, look, I want to be in a rock band. Why? Because all the friends of the child says rock, or something of that kind, right? There is nothing wrong with rock music, don't get me wrong, all right?
No.
But it actually takes an effort of the parent to make a decision for the child at that point that, no, we are not going to go into some kind of pop or show business, but we are going to go in more serious type of stuff, or we will bring the child to the art class to learn how really do drawings or paintings, or how to take a really serious music lessons. So parents have to take a little bit of lead for this type of decision for the child, particularly when the child is only 6, 7, 8, 9 years of age. I mean, you talk to the majority of the kids in the schools, in the preliminary schools right now, and I go and play for them sometimes. They don't know that classical music might be quite exciting and interesting. To them, this is boring. To them, this is outdated. To them, this is not popular. They don't know that in just a few years, if they would be exposed to that type of art, to that type of music, they would actually be above the general level. What would you do? So addressing to the parents, dear parents, don't be afraid. Look around, find a private teacher if you can, and trust me, it's not as expensive as many people think. Bring your kids on the concerts, like for instance, our concert on January 11th, free of charge. You know how many free of charge classical music concerts happening every day in this country?
We talk about
a lot more than rock music concerts, a lot more than any of other show business or pop music concerts where tickets are $500 and up. You can get a ticket to Disney Hall for $15 on some of the major players. You can get tickets for Hollywood Bowl for what, $2, $5 is the cheapest. $1 ticket.
They sell quick though, then $5.
Yeah, but they are available. It's not
and it
that
doesn't matter if you can't see. You really just want to listen to
you
give
can
your
with
family.
Hollywood Bowl.
They have projection screens.
There are screens
Yeah.
now, projectors. You can see everything
Okay,
just
I've
fine.
been in a
Moreover,
long time.
I dare to say, and I do it myself. We get this $1, $5 tickets. You get up on the, but then gradually you make your way down the row, and eventually you sit on those $500 tickets.
Everybody does that.
Fine,
Yeah.
everybody does
Yeah,
that. Let's
they're
face it. There's nothing wrong
They're
with
empty
that.
seats. Why not?
Yeah, that's what
yeah.
you should do.
Here we go.
Fill the seats.
But I think for the kids particularly, say Olympia Youth, right? Bring your child on this concert. Show the child how other kids are playing on the stage. This will inspire the child more than any kind of conversations with the child, showing any kind of videos or playing any kind of music. Once the child sees other kids like same looking, same age kids on the stage, that works as an inspiration. Now, particularly about Maestro Panko's Orchestra, because we did a concert a few years ago. I think 3 years ago. Was it 3 or 4 years ago?
Maybe even 4 or 5.
4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
I was amazed with the quality of that orchestra. I can tell one thing. We played one of the most complicated pieces ever composed for the cello. It's a Prokofiev Symphonia Concertante. And a few weeks after the concert with Olympia Youth, I was doing it with another well, it was a community orchestra, but we are talking about professional musicians sitting and play the same piece. As successful as our concert with Olympia Youth was, the catastrophic was the concert with the professional orchestra. The critics smashed the orchestra so bad.
Wow.
Yeah. It was amazing to see those kids at Maestro's baton, following his lead and practicing and learning their parts and doing this complicated one, the most complicated, the busiest score ever was done fine, wonderful, almost perfect. You know, so come on the concert, you will be amazed. I can guarantee you that.
And does Olympia have a lot of free concerts throughout the year, or do
Well,
you have maybe 3 or 4?
We
or
do 2 a year.
2 a year.
Yeah, and then since about 3 years ago, we've been combined with the Cal State LA Symphony. So we do also 2 on campus, but it's similar programming. So if you're looking for the public concerts, it's 2 every year. One usually in January, and the other one around May or June, depending on the availability of the auditorium. Yeah, and both are free of charge.
And at Cal State, where you teach, they have free concerts there too, don't they? Or they have concerts throughout the year.
Yeah, there are concerts with the music department now. There is called MTD, is Music, Theater, and Dance Department. It's all combined into one. Yeah, so they are different concerts and different shows all year round at school too.
Yeah, so if you're in the valley and it's something nice that you can do with your family.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah,
You
and
know.
Cal State LA is just right in the center of town, very close to is at the intersection of 710 and 10.
Right.
So it's very accessible and
So people should check out their website and their...
Yeah, how do they find out about these concerts? How to just call them, or they're listed on their website?
Yeah, on the website there should be a performance calendar. If you go onto the music department or MTD department webpage, yeah.
Should
Yeah, so there's so much that you can do to inspire your kids, your family, and even just maybe it's you and your husband or you and your girlfriends or whatever.
Just do it for
fun.
Yeah.
You know, this kind of music is just beautiful to listen to, and it's fun.
And
you
it's
know.
soothing. It's healthy
It's
music.
healthy music.
What's important, you know. It's healthy. Now, the Beethoven First Symphony that you guys will be playing on January concert. You know, for those who don't know, Beethoven, the German composer.
Beethoven.
Sorry.
Uh-oh, somebody needs correction.
Sorry.
No, just so that people know. I knew who you were talking about, but how it comes through on the radio. I want to make sure people know what you're saying. I don't know if that's Russian. I think it's Russian English.
Right. Well, sorry, I'm Russian. So what can I do? I try.
Your English is great.
Oh, thank you. You're flattering me now.
You're turning red.
Well, look, I keep saying that my English is limited with California Driver's Handbook, and everyone keeps complimenting my English because some mysterious reason.
Okay, so Beethoven.
Yeah, you know. Okay, for those who don't know, German composer, Austrian. You know, lived in Vienna for a long time. Now, what happened with him, to him, in the midst of his life, he lost hearing. So half of his pieces that he composed, he couldn't hear. But this particular symphony, the Symphony Number 1, that he could hear it. In fact, he probably conducted it himself, as I would
think
imagine
so,
the first performance.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he did a lot of his own.
on conduct. Played piano phenomenally well. Had a pretty tough childhood. His father wanted to make a genius pianist out of him, sort of a child prodigy. Succeeded to a certain extent, but Beethoven really became known as a composer, moreover. So he's very, very nice guy. Interestingly enough, you know, he was circulating around Vienna, couldn't live in the same apartment. Peculiar detail. At a certain point, he was renting 16 apartments simultaneously. Yeah. Could not stay in the same apartment for too long. So he would live in one apartment for 1 week, then move to another, then move to another, move to another. I don't just couldn't somehow. There was
I
something.
thought he got kicked out of a lot of them.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, the
Poor
younger
Beethoven.
version.
Okay.
Younger version of Beethoven Symphony right now.
So let me interrupt here because I hear the song that I put up on the computer. So let me
Okay,
expand.
you can talk about it, but when he put that up, that means we have to go to a
Have to go to
break.
break? Okay.
But
we'll
no,
about
talk
it.
about it for 1 second while it's on, and
This
then
is a
we'll
preview
go to
of
break.
what we're about to talk about right now, but it's about playing classical music and creating the groundwork for your child and expanding into what else is possible and using it as a vehicle. Maybe we'll
Perfect.
talk about that when we come out.
We'll definitely talk about that when we come back. So stay tuned, everybody. This is Alayna's Beauty Talk and more, and we will be back in just a few minutes.
Thank you for tuning in to LA Talk Live, reality radio handcrafted for your listening pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we're more than just talk. Stay tuned. Xavier Tees and Tots, groundbreaking fashion, forward street smart designs. Tees and Tots for men, women, and boys. Visit XavierUSA.com. Once again, that's XavierUSA.com. Hubert's Lemonade, tasty, refreshing, sweet, and tart. Happiness in a bottle. Visit Hubert's Lemonade at Hubert'sLemonade.com. Once again, that's Hubert'sLemonade.com. Happiness in a bottle.
Hi, this is Starlet Quarles, and I'm inviting you to join us every Wednesday from 5 to 6 p.m. The Dialogue, Real Talk, Real People. Join us as we discuss the topics that are relevant to today's generational leaders. So don't forget to tune in to The Dialogue, Real Talk, Real People, every Wednesday from 5 to 6 p.m. right here on latalklive.com. You can also catch us on iTunes Radio R&B, Live 365, Radio Flag, and now Stitcher Radio. Or watch and listen directly at latalklive.com. Reality radio handcrafted for your listening pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we are more than just talk.
This is Brett Chapin.
And this is Dorothy Dillingham Blue, inviting you to join us every Saturday at noon Pacific Standard Time for our show, La La Land Talk.
Join us as we talk with some of the top talent in LA. Artists' untold stories, your phone calls, and live on-location broadcasts have made La La Land one of the best sources in LA for everything entertainment.
So don't forget to tune in to La La Land Talk.
Exclusively on latalklive.com.
You can also catch us on iTunes Radio R&B, Live 365, Radio Flag, and now Stitcher Radio. Or watch and listen directly at latalklive.com.
Saturdays at noon Pacific Time. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/LaLaLandTalk, Twitter, twitter.com/LaLaLandTalk. Reality radio handcrafted for your listening pleasure. This is LA Talk Live.
And we are more than just talk.
Welcome back to Alayna's Beauty Talk and more. It's all about the inspiration of music. Actually, I thought it was going to be classical, but I think it's any type of music that you want to get involved in, because I just think music is so important. But classical just doesn't get enough. People don't get enough knowledge about it. They just think it's boring. It's not taught in the schools like it used to be.
Many people, sorry to interrupt.
No,
Many
good.
people misunderstand. They think that classical is something what necessarily has to be with a violin, cello, and piano. Not at all. Classical music nowadays includes all kinds of. Music is music. It's an art of sound.
That's a good way to put it.
What makes it classical? It's what life that particular piece has.
Do you mind if I expand on that?
All
a
right,
little
come
bit?
on. Yeah.
No, we wanted. That's why we
Okay.
started this to
Yeah.
get you back on the
Exactly.
mic.
So I would say classical music is a genre, but really an instrument that is a classically inspired instrument. It just happened to be, it was created around that time. But what I would say is it would be amazing for anybody to start as a child to learn how to read music, how to use it through a classical instrument, and let's say they didn't really actually continue on that instrument. They maybe played guitar after that or drums or something like that. At least they got the groundwork of what it is, what music actually is, and what the history of where it came from. And I think that actually triggers your mind in a very highly skilled level. And for it, as opposed to, let's say you didn't know how to read music and you just start playing this rock band, and you got uninspired because you got a block of like if you're writing a song, let's say you're a singer or songwriter, and you have a roadblock in your brain, and you don't know how to, what happened. But see, with me, I played the violin most of my life, and now I actually produce electronic music. And when I sit at my computer, I never have a block in my mind. I just start doing it, and it just happens because I have all this groundwork already created. I know how to read music. I sing. Singing is a very, very good thing too. Also, it could be classically, it could not be classically, but just singing every day, composing through your voice is one of the is a very, very powerful thing. So just creating, just starting with an instrument that you can read music with, and starting with the groundwork is a very, very powerful thing that I think a lot of people miss out in school, I think. And so I would say that piece you just heard right there is a piece that I produced called Incidental Pleasures, and it's going to be in a movie called Somewhere Slow. It's soon to be released, and it's going to be in independent film theaters, and that's going to be the opening, like the first part of the film, like the introduction of the film.
This is news for me. I didn't know that he's composing for movies now as well.
So so there's a lot of other stuff that's being stirred up, but I think that it's a very the gratification of writing music is, I think, a higher. I'm not going to say it's like a higher level than everything else, but it's a very gratifying thing, and I think that I can do that now, and I've done it through classical music and other genres, and now creating it is a very gratifying thing, and I think that without the classical music, I don't think I would have been where I am right now.
Yeah, classical music, basically, this classical training, what he's trying to say, I think,
that's a good way to put
it. Gives you that fundament that exposes you to all other opportunities, pretty much. A lot of younger kids think, or they would say, Michael Jackson didn't know the notation, he didn't know the notes, but look what kind of pieces. But you know what? We could only imagine how far he could have gone if he would have that fundament of the classical training in him, actually.
Okay. I want you to tell your story from Russia, how you got started with the cello.
Okay.
That was such a cute story. You haven't told it in a long time.
All right, okay.
I think you've only told it once, and we have a ton of different listeners now.
Okay, before I'll tell this, I have a question. Maestro, were you educated in China or here, or where?
No, I was born in Hong Kong, and I came here for college when I was 18. I've been here ever since. Yeah,
I see. Because this is because I thought that our experience of beginning could have been somewhat similar. Because I was born in the Soviet Union. You see.
Right. Yeah. I think the beginning stage of kids doing music is a little bit different.
Yeah.
Outside of the United States, because in the States there's a lot of the kids seem to like. Oh, I like to play the piano, and the parents are trying to get them a piano. But then, when I was back home, I think I was probably told to start the violin. I didn't even like it. Yeah, and there was this tiger mom behind me going practice, and of course I didn't. Like all normal kids, yeah. So, and actually I went to. Even when I went to college, I went to college in a different major before I went back to music school.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what was the major?
I got my master's in hematology.
Wow. Look at that. Big deal. Well, in my case, I was born in the Soviet Union. At that time, it was still Soviet Union. And Soviet Union was good in terms of education because everything was free there. Education was free. And I started my regular elementary school that had whatever music we had a music lesson which was 1 hour a week. I remember we were singing, doing all kinds of stuff. So I would do my homework while being at the school, and by 3 p.m. I would get back home. I had absolutely nothing to do. And of course, I would enjoy myself playing outside with other kids. At a certain point, my parents said, okay, and my mother being a professional pianist, obviously, said, okay, he has to be enrolled in music school. Now, here's another reason why the music school was brought up. Obviously, since my mother is a professional pianist, I was exposed to music and piano since I was born. And my mother, being a professional teacher, tried teaching me. Now that was a mistake. Okay. I still remember that day. I think I was 6 years of age. It was wonderful weather like today in Los Angeles. And we were sitting, this big brown box. Our piano was brown. And I was playing a piece called a fugue. I don't remember the composer, but I remember there's a fugue. Fugue, it's a piece that has a few voices there. That particular one had 3 voices. And so my mother is next to me, teaching me how to play on the piano that piece. I could hear the ball outside. My neighborhood kids were playing soccer. Well, I'm playing the fugue, and there is one note that I play with the 4th finger of the right hand. I remember very well. My mother stops me and says, it's written with the 5th finger, play with the 5th. I'm playing it, play with the 4th. I said, no, it's a 5th finger, play with the 5th. I'm playing again, 4th. Man, I said, why are you playing with the 4th finger? I'm like, well, look, what's the difference? 4th finger, 5th finger, it sounds same. The note is the same. Who cares? That was the last straw. And I still remember that silence. That all of a sudden, even the ball outside stopped. she, in this dead silence, she stood up, made it behind my back. She went to my father's room, which was, the next room to the, room with the piano, closed the door, and I didn't hear the full conversation. I couldn't, but I just heard certain things that, came through the door. My mother saying, through my dead body. Remember her saying, and another thing that she said, that he is going to be an accountant. That was just, I don't know why. So at that point, my father said, okay, that's enough of the homework with the mother, time to start the music school. We went to music, and at that time, so Soviet Union, free education, a lot of opportunities, lots of education. However, music education was available for free, only to talented children. So in the very beginning, before you get enrolled to the school, there is sort of a test, an exam, an audition, if you wish. So I still remember that day, as if it would be yesterday. Weather wasn't as good. It was cloudy, gloomy, everything was kind of grayish, and I didn't like that weather. I remember we arrived to the school, and the schools, by the way, schools in Soviet Union had numbers. It's not like, in Los Angeles, in America, for instance, a Marshall School of, or in Soviet Union it was numbers. It was a music school number 7. I don't know why number 7 was chosen, or because it's a lucky number, or because it was just closest to our place. I don't know. Bottom line, I was brought into this. I was maybe 6 and a half, maybe 7 years of age. Was brought into this big room. There was a dozen elderly individuals. They weren't friendly at all, and it was the first time I was taken away from my mother. I felt truly intimidated and truly scared. So they asked me to sing, to clap, to, I think, speak out a poem. I couldn't do anything. I was frozen. I was so scared and terrified of everything that was going on that I barely could open my mouth and extract a couple of noises out of my throat. Bottom line was, the verdict was, the child doesn't have sense of rhythm, cannot hear very well, and should not be doing music. And of course, my mother was like, "How did it happen? Well, he could do all these things at home very well." And I was like, "Yes, this is the end of my music tortures." So since I was determined, not talented, and not having capabilities, my parents were offered to pay for these piano lessons. And I still remember the number. It was 25 rubles, Soviet rubles per a month. It was a lot of money for the comparison. My mother's salary a month was 100 rubles. So it was 1/4 of my mother's salary. At that point, my mother said definitely no music in his life. For a few weeks, everything kind of stopped, frozen. My parents were somewhat devastated. I remember we was upset. All of a sudden, the director of the school called and he said, we have a wonderful cello teacher, and the cost of the cello lessons for your child will be only 7 rubles per half a year. When you have 25 rubles a month or 7 per half a year, that's a big difference.
Yeah.
So to my mother, that was sort of an insult. She didn't see me as a cellist at all. And at first she said, I'm going to carry that big instrument with him. My father said, okay, why don't we try a couple of lessons, see how it goes? And they decided, okay, we'll take 2 lessons. If I like it, or somehow the process would roll, they would continue it. If not, then forget it. And I still remember my first lesson. I even remember the smell of the cello, believe it or not, when it was brought into the room. And my first teacher, and she was smart enough and intelligent enough and experienced enough to really create this connection of me with the instrument, which is probably the most difficult moment. And later my mother said it was really weird. I mean, as soon as the instrument was brought into the room, you just picked the cello and started playing it. Normally kids would have problem with the positioning, with that how to hold it. So in my case, I didn't have any of that kind. And a few months later, they realized I had perfect pitch and normal sense of rhythm, and the memory was quite good. And my picture appeared on this, board for the advanced students, which I was very proud of. And I was, walking around pointing to everyone, that's my picture. And that was pretty much it. That was, and shortly after, we didn't have to pay anything for the lessons. So that's
now
how,
you're a world-renowned cellist.
and now I'm a professional cellist. Yes, believe it or not. So that's sort of my story, how I became,
which is pretty unusual.
Oh, it's a good story.
Yeah,
but I think on many counts, I've seen parents that would bring children to me, and they would say, "Oh, we don't think this child has any talent or any potential. We just want a general development." I said, "Fine." And then a few months after, I would discover that the child has actually great potential. And it's really difficult, particularly with Asian parents, actually, to get them to. It's sort of a paradoxal thing for me, because on one hand they're quite active in terms of bringing their kids into music, particularly into classical music. But once they become more or less serious, that's when they sort of get scared and intimidated.
Well,
somehow.
I think when they a lot of Asian parents, when they first start out bringing their children into music, is in their mind is just something to do.
Mm-hmm.
Has nothing to do with music.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them could even be planning on their kids' college application resume that, my kid can play violin up to a certain level, or took a test, and things like that. And then they don't really care if the kid is talented, or they don't really care if the child is interested in music. And that's sometimes there's a very sad thing, because there are so many talented kids. Eventually, when you don't have the correct environment, sometimes you do phase out.
Yep.
And then you actually lose your chance.
Mm-hmm.
And I always keep telling my students, you should really work hard as you can, because later on in life is much better to say I could have instead of I should have.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And now, do you teach violin privately?
Yeah, I do. Uh-huh.
And if people want to get in touch with you, how do they do that?
They can send me a message.
How? Through your website?
Yeah, through the website. They can leave a message for the administration, and I'll get it.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I have an opposite story from Ruslan's story. I was a child that didn't have, that wasn't giving me, like, you have to play this thing, like, like kind of upbringing. I was the kind of child that was like, please give it to me, please give it to me. But because we didn't have the money to buy a violin, like somehow it was destined. My mom and I knew it was destined for me to play the violin. And then finally, when I was 11-year-old, I started the piano when I was 8. I was studying. I had free private lessons from a church nearby my home. And then she suggested, an instrument to go along with the piano would be the violin. And then so in middle school, I finally started classes in beginning strings. And what happened was before I even started the first class, my mom went to the pawn shop and she gifted me. She said, Edgar, I have a present for you, and and she opened it up. It's a violin, and it was $100 from the pawn shop.
Wow.
And then I took it out and I started playing, and I told my Mom, this is a crappy violin. Why did you buy this for me? And I'd never even touched a violin before that, and I just knew that it was a bad violin. And so I made my mom return it to the pawn shop. And then me and my mom went together to Stein on Vine, actually, right across from the Musicians Union here in LA. And we chose, still before the first class of the music class that I was going to take in middle school. And I chose through maybe a lot of different violins. I chose a copy of a Guarnerius. It was, it's a,
Do you still have it?
I still have it, yeah. And it sounded really nice. It played it really high on the high string. And I didn't know how to play violin very well. Somehow I just knew, this is the violin I need. And my mom was like, okay. It was about $300, a little bit more. My mom was like, okay, we'll get it. And then so I started using that violin in my class. And then, because you had the option to either borrow from I went to Paul Revere Middle School, and they had a pretty good music school there, to borrow the instrument and rent it out, or bring your own instrument. And then in this beginning strings class, everybody, we were doing, I remember it was a particular exercise. It was the slur, when you connect two notes. Yeah. And when you connect, like, for example, an open string to a first finger or something. And then for some reason I was just doing it really easily, and everyone was struggling, and then the teacher said, he pointed me out in front of the whole class, and he said, play this note on the violin, and he played a note on the piano, and then I just played it. And then so he noticed that I had like some kind of pitch perfection or something. So then I was grasping for it, and somehow I realized, okay, this is my instrument. And so and from then on, then it was just history where I was able to progress. I progressed very quickly, actually, on the violin. But maybe a matter of 1 year, it wasn't really a struggle. It was just getting the technical aspect of everything. The second year, then I started playing like real pieces. So,
but here's a question that I have. I mean, I remember when Isaac Stern, who was one of the greatest violinists of 20th century, actually was given an interview in Moscow, and someone asked him a question: so when did you actually became a violinist? When did you decide that you became a violinist? An interesting reply that he gave was that, there was a moment when I all of a sudden realized that with my movement of my hands, I can produce a sound that touches people's hearts. That was the beginning of him becoming an artist, pretty much. So, question for you, and for you to add, actually, do you remember that moment when it actually happened? Or it just was kind of a natural, flow of events?
I don't know if it ever happened. Well, when it came close to it, maybe was probably when I was in college, when I started playing for example, the Chaconne by Vitali. And a lot of times it would be when I play like a piece in a minor key. And a lot of people always enjoyed listening to me. It's just when I looked in the audience and I say, people are actually like really like listening and being moved by it. I think it was probably my first year in college, probably. Because in high school, I played pretty well, but I think it was when in college I started to get a little, I think so.
Do you play private concerts now still?
Not really, actually. I play a lot of casuals, a lot of gigs with the Glendale Philharmonic. I play gigs I play in the orchestra, actually.
Oh, I've been to a lot of the concerts.
You have?
I have.
So you heard him playing them?
I probably heard you play. I just didn't recognize. Well, when you're all sitting up on the stage, you can't tell.
Recently, there's been a lot of orchestras folding, actually, in LA. So and there's what's happening actually right now is there's too much talent in LA and not enough chairs open for people to get positions, for example.
Market is kind of shrinking, actually.
Yeah, market is shrinking. LA Phil didn't have a violin opening for, I think it was 5 or 6 years until like 2008. I took the audition. I was lucky to actually get invited to it, and they didn't even choose the 2 chairs, or I think it was 3 chairs. They didn't even pick anybody. And then so
but the competition was fierce. It was like 400 people per seat.
Wow.
But the opportunity to get a job in an orchestra is very, very low.
So you have to find other ways.
Yeah, so I mean, I've played with the Pasadena Symphony.
but
Culver City. I've
that's-
played around.
Excuse me, that's in Los Angeles, okay? It's
Right.
not the whole. In LA right now with the arts, it's a special situation because the studios are folding as well. You probably heard Warner Brothers laid off like 10,000 people
Yeah.
a few weeks ago, etc. So the market is changing. We are in this pretty interesting kind of gray environment right now in general, and the city of Los Angeles is kind of fighting this tendency, and so far not too successful, unfortunately. We'll see what will be the future. But Maestro, when was your moment? I wonder. Did you have that moment?
I don't know. I must say I probably never did.
You both have the same answers.
You see, in my case, it was my mother actually. It was Rachmaninoff's Vocalist, the piece that was originally composed for voice. And I was preparing for one of the competitions. I was 13 years of age. And my mother was going around and say, I listen for this piece and it touches my heart. And when you play, nothing really happens. And I was like, okay.
Your mom was tough on you.
She is still. I mean, nothing changed in that department.
I met his mom.
Oh, you
Oh, yes. That's you met my mom. Yeah.
She's sweet on the outside.
On the outside, okay, the outside. You don't know the insides there. It's like a little devil walking around. No. She's a nice one. Now, but what happened? So I decided, okay, I'll practice and I'll try to touch her heart. So it was a couple of weeks of practicing. I was trying to search for that sound that would kind of, do something to the people. So 2 weeks later, I thought that I found it, And there my mother walking around. I'm playing the piece for her, and I stopped and said, "Mom, did it touch you?" She got it was like, no, not really. And she like, few more weeks. There's few more weeks of practicing desperate searches. When they say this artist agony, when this artistic search, when you're trying to find something but you don't even know what you're looking for. And a few weeks later, played for her again. She was just sort of walking around. So did it happen or did you? And she, nope. At that point, I started really doubting my abilities. A few more weeks. I think it took me like more than a month. There was a moment when I played the piece and she just walked into the room, and I said, "So did you feel anything?" And I remember at that moment her face changed. It was an obvious change of the expression, and said, all of a sudden there was a surprise in her voice. She said, "Actually, yes, there was something I felt." And that's Dvorak concerto that we're playing with Frank actually.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, that's a cello concerto. It's the beginning of the third movement. So yeah, that was my official beginning as an artist.
And how old were you?
I think I was 13. I remember that moment forever because that was officially the moment when someone felt something with me doing this.
All right, let's
That's
listen
it,
to you
Wayne.
for a second before we go to. Is that okay, Richard? Okay, so we're gonna just listen to
It's a
Ruslan
Dvorak
play.
cello concerto.
Do you want to say anything?
I like my playing. I mean, what else? What else to be said?
That's an accomplishment. To like your own
Two cars,
playing.
mom.
I think my mother wasn't present on this particular concert, actually. It's very seldom when she would compliment my performances. This is one of the most exciting pieces ever. Concerto by Dvorak, Antonin Dvorak. He was in America. He lived in the United States when he composed it, actually.
He did?
Yep, in New York.
Have you ever met him?
No, he died.
He
He died
died?
100 years ago. Yeah, I
Oh.
wish. Yeah, he's one of the greatest composers.
Maybe in a
of all time.
past life, who knows?
I don't believe in that stuff. Actually,
Well, that's another topic.
Oh,
we
yeah.
won't go there.
No, we can't go there. We don't have enough time. All right. Have we heard enough of you?
No. It's never enough.
All right, well, we do have to go to break.
All right.
All right. So when we come back, we're going to continue this conversation all about music, getting inspired. And so it should be really fun. So stay tuned, everybody. This is Alayna's Beauty Talk and more on LA Talk Live. We're more than just talk.
Thank you for tuning into LA Talk Live and the Talk Live Broadcast Network, original reality radio, handcrafted for your listening and viewing pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we are more than just talk. Stay tuned.
Hi, this is Starlet Quarles, and I'm inviting you to join us every Wednesday from 5 to 6 p.m. for a new show right here on LA Talk Live, The Dialogue, Real Talk, Real People. Join us as we discuss the topics that are relevant to today's generational leaders. So don't forget to tune in to The Dialogue, Real Talk, Real People, every Wednesday from 5 to 6 p.m. right here on latalklive.com. You can also catch us on iTunes Radio R&B, Live 365, Radio Flag, and now Stitcher Radio. Or watch and listen directly at latalklive.com. Reality radio handcrafted for your listening pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we are more than just talk.
Hey y'all, I'm Shaquem Williams, and I'm the host of The Shock Factor here on LA Talk Live. We broadcast to the world every Friday at 8 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. Live music, live performances. We're just live. Chef Momo, Erica Ash, and once again, your host, Shaquem Williams. So come join us every Friday here at LA Talk Live, the world-leading broadcasting internet radio station. The Shock.
Hi, I'm Ro Williams, and I would like to invite you to join GospelRhythms.com every Sunday at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for our show, GospelRhythms.com Talk Live Radio. Join us as we celebrate Christians around the world in all genres of entertainment, as well as highlight interest stories on men and women who are making a difference and impacting their community. So don't forget to tune in to GospelRhythms.com Talk Live Radio exclusively on LATalkLive.com. You can also catch us on iTunes under R&B or watch us live on Ustream TV. We are reality radio handcrafted for your listening pleasure. This is GospelRhythms.com Talk Live Radio on LATalkLive.com. We're more than just talk. We're heaven's party here on earth.
Welcome back to Alayna's Beauty Talk and more. Okay, you're all excited about this piece.
This is amazing piece. This is a concerto for typewriter with orchestra. Is it your orchestra?
Yeah.
Play? Wow. It's a real typewriter. We did it with Glendale Philharmonic a couple of years ago. It's a real, that's what you hear right now. It's a real typewriter played with orchestra. Can you imagine?
Wow.
Classical music, boring? What are you talking about? We even use typewriters to play.
I mean, you heard this music and you guys, your face just lit up.
Yeah, because it's a really fun. Imagine you come to the concert hall and instead of piano being rolled out on the stage, they bring a typewriter. You know, one of those old-fashioned. When we did it, actually, we had a problem finding the actual typewriter. You know, it's difficult to find the actual.
Yeah, it is.
Device.
Sometimes the older ones, because of the tempo, the keys get stuck.
Yes.
Yeah. So we have to
we
find
had that problem.
You have to have a fine-tuned.
You know.
Yeah, it has to be fine-tuned typewriter.
And the return.
And the return, yes,
and
the ding thing.
Well, the ding was from the
triangle. Yeah. Who was it? Who was the soloist?
The soloist was Dante Luna. He's the first year at UCLA now. He
This
graduated
sounds
from.
familiar,
He
actually.
graduated from LACSA last year. The LA County High School.
Is he a pianist or percussionist?
Percussionist.
Percussion.
Yes,
Because sometimes it's a pianist, sometimes it's a percussionist who does that thing, you know.
Yeah, he's a percussion major at UCLA now.
Oh, yeah.
Fantastic player.
Yeah. I think his name sounds really, really familiar. It's difficult, you know, because it has to be very, very tick, 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 tick. And this, you know, how do you call them? In the typewriter, that thing that actually hits the
hammer.
I learned how to type on those typewriters.
They sometimes
get
stuck.
You got to pick another note.
Do you hear the applause? Just listen for the applause.
It was a big applause.
See, it's a big. Was it in San Bernardino Playhouse as well?
Yeah, it was the same. Everything you hear today is from the same concert.
You know, the concerts of Olympia you're sold out usually.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, we're talking about, what is it, 1,400 seat hall, right?
Yeah, we usually fill it pretty well. So.
Yeah. So, people, January 11th, my birthday, I don't require presents. But you have to be present. at the concert? 3 p.m., right?
Yeah, 3 p.m.
3 p.m. 3 p.m. San Gabriel Playhouse.
Yeah. The admission is free, but if you want to park in the lot behind the auditorium, you do have to pay.
Okay.
I think the city takes the parking money.
Okay. We have a caller coming
All right.
in. Are you on the? Is he in? John, are you there?
Hello, Alayna.
Hi, this is my nephew, everybody. I'm
Hello,
so
everybody.
proud of him.
Hi.
This is John Zwick. Yay, you made it. I didn't want to kind of say it before because you never know when people call in if it's really going to happen. But have you been listening?
Sure. No, I've been listening.
Yeah,
It's a very good conversation.
Yeah, so I'm really excited, everybody. He just graduated college. You want to, yay!
From
And
the
he's
University of Arizona.
from the University of Arizona. He's now playing in a band. He's written this amazing music. Let's talk about your music, John. Talk about the song that you, did you write this song?
Well, with this particular tune, I wrote the lyrics and the melodies that went along with the lyrics, and I also really helped do a lot of the work in constructing the form of the piece. And, you know, it's taking a large step away from classical, which I know is what you guys have been discussing a lot today. This particular piece, it's titled Growing Tall, and with this one, it has a lot of just post-90s sort of pop-punk influence, which I'm 24, and this band that I'm currently in now, we're all music teachers. You know, and we grew up playing guitar and listening to bands like, you know, Blink-182 and Nirvana and all those other punk and grunge guys. And so this particular tune, it showcases a lot of that style.
Cool.
Absolutely.
But it's still music, and you still have a huge background in music.
Yeah, you know, I graduated from the University of Arizona with a music theory and composition degree, and I've always, you know, composed on my own, but being in this band is a great thing because being able to collaborate with people coming from different places. We're all from Tucson, you know, but we all have different styles.
So
that
are we
really
gonna hear the
connect with
piece?
us.
We are going to hear the piece.
So it's an eclectic sort of thing.
All right, John.
So-
All
hold
right,
on, wait a
John. This is Ruslan.
Hi.
Hello.
I'm the Russian guy.
He's the Russian guy.
So I wonder, how did
Nice
you?
to meet you.
Nice to meet you. How did you actually record this piece? Was it a live recording? Did you guys go to the studio? Did you record each instrument
one?
separate, or it was all together at once?
Well, I recorded all of this in my studio. It's a project studio in my living room. And so that's how this was done. And we overdubbed. So some of the, like, for example, the guitars played together. And the bass player then came in separately and recorded over the guitar tracks. And we pretty much had to stack everything that way.
Do you live in the
More or less
apartment
because
or it's
of
a
our-
house? Is it a house or an apartment?
It's a house.
Oh, you are lucky.
Small little house.
Yeah, they have great. Yeah, you've lived there for a while. All right, John. Why don't you give out the name of the band and the name of the song, and then we'll have Richard play. You sent us the new one, which is what, about a minute and a few seconds.
Just over a minute.
Do you guys have
And,
Facebook?
our group
Yeah,
all
they
guys have
do,
group?
but we'll
Okay.
get to all of that.
All right, okay.
So then he's got it up where you can hear it. So, okay, John, introduce the song, the name of the band, and then we'll play it, all
Sure
right?
thing. So our group name, we went through a few different lineups with members, and so with each lineup sort of came a new name. And right now our name is Cloud Saver Neptune. Cloud Saver Neptune. And
Cloud Favor Neptune.
Cloud Saver Neptune. We have a website with those just put up, and we have all of our contact information and sort of our layout of what we're about and sort of what we wish to achieve as a band on there.
So
and
why,
the website is cloudsaverneptune.com.
why do you have this name? Why it's not just Neptune, for instance, or just Cloud?
Not just Neptune. What fun is that? No, just
Yeah, don't
kidding.
try and answer some of Ruslan's questions. It won't make sense. He drinks too much vodka sometimes.
I was thinking this probably today.
Writing background.
That's true. Too much vodka.
And,
All right, we're all, wait a minute. We're talking
I wanted
over
a
one
name
another.
That used a lot of sort of mellifluous letters and sounds. So like a lot of L's, a V, the F's. You know, it makes for a very lyrical sort of sonic, experience as you say the name. And I sort of wanted it to be a little catching, a little different, unique. Something that could stick though because it was quite new sounding.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
So-
you ready? So, what's the name of the song?
Yeah, go for it. The song is titled "Growing Tall."
All right, here we go.
To the pocket, other kid. Oh, I think this might be the fault of those listening. And the fact I have you is a crushing hot glue that guns me through. Oh, I think this might be the fault of those listening. And the fact I have you is a crushing hot glue that guns me through.
That's it.
Well, we have a lot more,
Yeah,
but
great.
we're,
Wonderful.
yeah. Oh my God, Richard, will you come on the mic for a second? Oh, you should have seen Richard. He plays music. What do you call? Oh, he calls himself something. You should have seen him. He was really liking it.
Yeah.
You guys, what did, Edgar, what
very
did
glad
you
to hear
think?
That was awesome.
Yeah, wonderful
Thank
pick.
you.
Really well put together. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, is this more?
I appreciate it.
Yeah, is
like
this?
I said, I'm aspiring producer, and I've had to do a lot of the studying on my own. And
What DAW do you use? What,
this was a really big project for me.
did you use
But it was a great learning
Ableton?
experience.
John, wait a minute. Edgar has a question for you.
What producing program did you use to make it?
I use Logic.
Logic's
Logic
great.
Pro.
Excellent.
Yep.
I know Logic pretty well. I know Ableton. Ableton's pretty amazing as well. I use Ableton to produce
Yeah, I
music.
know. With the EDM background, I had
Yeah.
a feeling once you said that, I'm like, oh, Ableton.
Yeah, exactly.
Those two names are sort of synonymous in my head nowadays.
Perfect.
Are you guys involved with ASCAP or BMI or any of those licensing companies?
Not yet. We were able to release the song on the iTunes store through TuneCore.
Yes.
And so it hasn't been able yet to, get copyrighted via BMI or ASCAP, but that's the next step.
Yeah.
Does that take a while to do, Edgar?
No, it's simple.
No, it's simply you just catalog it and online. You just have to pay. I think you have to pay a membership and things you have to do. Yeah.
Well, there are cons and pros about it. If you have it licensed, then some places might not, take it for broadcast if they are not, connected with ASCAP or BMI. If it's not like if you just release it and let anyone play it or use it, then someone might copy it and introduce as their song. So there are sort of cons and pros. Usually people though license it.
What do you say, Edgar?
Well, I'm part of ASCAP, and it's just good to catalog everything you do. I'm not even great about it because I write a lot of songs, but if it's just listed on there, then, for example, ASCAP or BMI, they'll make sure that, it got played there, then they'll make sure that you get your money for it.
Yeah, you get the roads.
So,
John, you're still there, right?
I am.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, just stay on the line. We're going to, we only got a few more minutes till the end of the show, so stay with us till the end of the show.
Sure thing.
All right, good. All right. Do you want to talk a little bit more, Edgar, about some of the or some questions?
I think it's well put together. Is that you singing on the track? That is,
which is
awesome.
odd. I grew up as a sort of progressive electric experimental guitar player, and one of my music professors at the U of A, he said the more hats you can wear, the better. And really took that to heart. So as soon as he said that, I was maybe a sophomore that year, and I went out and started taking voice lessons.
Awesome. Yeah, I think it's
Yeah,
great.
so-
It's great that you got it really deep into it. And it sounds like you're manning like the whole thing. You're singing. You're playing guitars as well. You play guitar.
Yeah, in this group though, it's nice. I don't have to worry about the guitars at all. I have two
Good.
really talented guitar players.
Oh, okay. That's where.
So you're just singing, John?
Correct. Yep. I
Wow.
did singing, and then I did all the mixing and mastering, so all the audio engineering stuff.
I mean, all those years you slept
But-
all those guitars to LA to my house, you're not playing?
All those
my
guitars
wood
I've been
floors
playing in your
still have
apartment.
scratches from you schlepping the guitars.
Don't worry though. I'll also have my solo guitar project. all the time.
Are you guys planning on coming to Los Angeles anytime soon?
We would love to. We were scheduled at a time to play some performances there, but I guess the funding for the events fell through.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that was scheduled for the end of September. But now we're looking, hopefully, by the end of the year, we can come out and at least play, a gig or two.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Really
Or
what we would
3
like
or
to
4.
do.
There's some good venues out there like the Hotel Cafe and I think the Echo that they're pretty cheap at charging. You can maybe put a little tour out here, maybe 2 or 3 venues or something.
Yeah, John, later today or tomorrow, I'll give you a call. I want you and Edgar to kind of hook up because he's just a few years older than you, but kind of into doing the same thing. So I think you guys should talk.
Yeah.
You know who?
Yeah, that would be great. That would be fantastic. All the insight, the better.
Yeah, Kate, our media director, used to manage a few bands actually.
Yeah, we might
get a couple
have
more contacts.
Yeah,
with
we
him,
might have some good connections
Yeah.
for you here. So that's why I wanted you to call in today so they could hear your song. And since they liked your song so much,
we were forced to hear.
yes, you were forced. But you know what? You've gotten a lot from my show too.
Oh yeah, well, no complaints here.
I mean, you're on once a month. Every time I have a cancellation, I call Ruslan. Do you want to take the show? Sure. Or I'll call him up. Which date do you want? This date or that date? Both.
I love radio. What can I do? I love radio.
You like the station.
Yeah, I love it.
You know, you're here as
And
much.
you're good. It's fun talking to you.
Yeah, we have a good time on this show.
And it's fun listening for my music on this radio.
We can play your music again.
I'm joking,
We can
I'm
play
joking.
the, you know,
I
you love hearing your own music.
No, I pretend actually. I hear my music so much that sometimes it's kind of nice to listen for something else, really.
That's what I say. It's hard to like your own music.
Yeah.
Let's listen to other music.
Yeah.
I mean, how long do you listen to your music back all the time? I mean, like every little bar and
When I'm
stuff?
creating the music, I listen to it so much that by the time it's actually done, I don't really like listening to it that much anymore. Everybody else loves it, but I don't know.
Yeah, I
it's just
think
the
a
way I
lot
am.
of producers can relate to that.
Yeah.
Does that happen to you, John?
Absolutely. Oh yeah. I mean, you spend hours and hours and hours,
A lot of
working
times
on your project.
a lot of
one
times-
song, and
Yeah, when I'm showing my friends, they'll be like, play that one, play that song. I'm like, no, I've heard that one way too many times. No, we really like that one.
it just doesn't resonate with me like it used to.
How do you feel? I mean, you have to conduct sometimes the
79
same...
listens later.
You have to conduct sometimes same pieces over and over, right? Because
Yeah.
sometimes like Beethoven Symphony, it's been running for 200 years. How does that feel,
Well, actually, to me, every piece, if I put on a new performance, is like a new piece.
It
Because
stays fresh?
It stays fresh because if you think that music is boring after 2 times or 3 times, then you really shouldn't be in music, because it's the creative process. Because the orchestra is made up of different members, and even if for the real professional conductors, they go, professional orchestras. Each orchestra has their own kind of specific sound,
Mhm.
and if you go to a different city and conduct the same piece, it all sounds different, and it's up to the conductor and the orchestra to make music together, and it's so interesting in doing that.
So you do much more conducting now than you do playing the violin.
Yeah, I do. I do more conducting now. Yeah.
So you're called maestro all the
Huh?
time
Yes.
now?
No. Maestro is just Ruslan's.
It's my way of calling. But you know, the interesting thing that the Olympia Youth plays not just Beethoven or Mozart or something else. You know, we have a recording of Mission Impossible.
Oh, we
here.
were going to play that.
Yeah, we're going to play that. You know, the Mission Impossible soundtrack. Maybe not
Richard,
right
did you find it?
now.
What track?
It's the last track of
Last
the
track on the
second
on the
disc.
On the second disc. Yeah.
Okay, we're going to pull it up and play it. Okay, let's continue. John, do you have any questions for anybody?
No.
Oh, all right. Where are you?
Nope.
Where are you calling from?
I'm actually calling from my house.
Oh, okay, so you're on your cell phone then.
I am. Is it
Wow, it's
through
coming
well?
through great. Yeah, that's why I was asking. Sometimes, yeah, you're coming through loud and clear.
Great. Good.
So, okay, wait a minute. While we have you on the phone, and give out where people can hear more of your music besides the. Give out the website again. Where else can they hear your music?
Yeah, so it's available now under Cloud's Favorite Neptune on the iTunes Store, Spotify, Amazon, and let's see.
Were you looking at
Google
notes?
Play. Yeah, I have and Rhapsody.
Oh, so it's available.
Yeah, so all the major distributors, it's available.
But you know, if you distribute your music through TuneCore, you can have way more stations playing it as well as the outlets. You know, they have the full list, like 50 or 60 now.
Yeah, no, that's true. That is true. And we have it playing currently in quite a few different countries all over the world through their, the radio service that they offer.
So is this the only song you have out now, or do you have more than this one, John?
I'm actually the second. We have another song I'm just about finished with. I'm going to be starting the mastering probably later this afternoon, as a matter of fact. And that will be up shortly.
So shortly
and
means
that
how
song,
long?
It's very, very different. It's whenever we go to write a tune, we never necessarily want to say, okay, we're going to write a punk song right now, or we're going to write something that's much more mellow and slow tempo. It's sort of very organic, and the second tune adheres to that a lot. It's very, very different than Growing
Well, that's
Fall,
good. You don't want
which
all
has
the
just all
same
punk.
beats.
Yeah, exactly. We want to have
variation,
a plethora of different sounds. Yeah, variation.
Do the rock bands
Everything. So-
go to Burning Man? Do they go
There's
there?
a lot of different. There's a rock bands at Burning Man. I DJ'd at my own camp at Burning Man. There's just all sorts of.
Have you heard,
music.
John? Have you heard of Burning Man?
I never have.
Burning Man is a
Burning Man.
It's a
The events, right?
It's people go out to the desert in I think it's in northern Nevada.
Yeah.
And they set up. It's basically
It's once a year.
leave no trace type of thing where
Yeah.
you set up everything and then there's nothing left over in a matter of a week.
Yeah, just Google Burning Man. I think it might be really great exposure for you guys to show up there.
Next year.
Yeah, next
Yeah.
year. Yeah, it might be really interesting.
It's funny you
experience.
brought that
That's
up.
true.
I just discovered this event this past year when it happened.
Yeah, it'd probably be
Saw a
easier
bunch
than you
of photos
think.
online and thought it looked really, really interesting.
Yeah, it'd be probably easier than you think to actually book yourself there. Probably at one of the major stages there.
Yeah.
Oh.
And nowadays,
that would be fun.
literally hundreds of thousands of people go there. Of all people from industry, from Los Angeles, I know a lot of people that would be there that you can meet in person in a pretty casual environment. It's one of the easiest way of getting, necessary networking connections set up, particularly for your type of music.
All right, is Mission Impossible ready? Okay.
All right, here's a
Yeah.
Mission Impossible.
Before it starts, I have to tell you guys, this is the last piece of the concert that we did, and I started it and I walked off stage, and they did it all on their own.
And this is from your orchestra.
Olympia
Yeah.
Youth Symphony. So
Olympia Youth
children
Orchestra.
playing by themselves.
From what age are these kids playing?
12 and up.
Okay. So what age?
Well, there are a couple of college kids. Yeah.
Okay. playing this piece? How many kids were in the orchestra?
About 85.
That's what it sounds like.
Big orchestra. I better start practicing, for the
Yeah, I walked off stage after the fifth measure.
Why? Were you mad at them?
No.
No, I was just tired, and I go, heck, they can do it.
So why do we need conductors?
They were surprised.
So why do we need conductors anymore?
Huh?
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I guess I'm fired.
Fired himself.
I fired myself, yes.
But no, that's why I love this show. I mean, look at all the different types of music that we played on this show, but it's all music and it all connects us in certain ways. So it's so important to have all these different genres of music. John, you still there?
I'm still here.
Oh, wow.
Okay. All right, guys. You know, we got 2 minutes left, so we're going to have to give our final thoughts, close out the show. John, since you're on the phone and you're going to have to hang up, give out your information again, the website, and a few places where, or like maybe 2 places where they can go to listen to your music, and then I'll go around the table and everybody can give out their information.
All right, great. Well, firstly, Alayna, thank you so much.
Oh,
for
you're
having me on.
welcome. Yeah, after almost 5 years being on the show, I finally got somebody from my family. All right, John.
Great. Well, so our group name is Clouds Favor Neptune. You can find us on the website at cloudsfaverneptune.com.
Okay, it's all right. And you know what, John? Let me spell it because it's cloud and it's favor, Favor, Neptune. So just to make sure they know how to spell it.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, clouds plural, right?
Oh, clouds.
Clouds Favor Neptune.
Okay.
Yep.
Got it. And the name of the song is Growing Tall.
Yeah, and they can find it on the iTunes store under the band name. iTunes store or Spotify is another good distributor, and Rhapsody and Amazon as well.
Perfect.
So all the major distributors.
Just like Edgar's. All right. John, I'm going to let you hang up, and I'm going to just go around the table. Or you can stay till the end of the show. It makes no difference.
Right. Well, yeah, I'll get going. But thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Nice to meet you.
I'll talk to you later, John. Bye.
All right, thank you.
Yay! That's my nephew, everybody. John Zwick.
Great nephew.
He is a great nephew. He's a great kid.
He sounds like a really nice guy.
He's a great guy.
Yeah. All right, well, everybody, come on our concert in... what's it?
January 11th.
January 11th.
January 11th, 3 p.m. Sunday.
Ruslan's birthday.
Yeah, my birthday. Don't bring presents, just be present. 3 p.m. It's free of charge. St. Gabriel Mission Playhouse, okay? Check Olympia Youth Philharmonic website. Just Google it, you'll find it. Or Google Ruslan Birukov or Ruslan Cello. Just Google this and you'll find all the information. Listen for good quality music. Talk to good people. Stay away from trouble. Or if you get in trouble, let it be nice trouble. Halloween is coming up, so get ready for the masquerade and all kinds of interesting stuff. Come on our vodka tasting party on December 6th. Check GlendalePhilharmonic.com.
Is that going to be it? Is that at the Baptist Church?
No, I wish. That would have been so amazing. Oh, God, we would have fun with the Baptists in that church. No, most probably it will be at the bar called Barbarella in Silver Lake on Hyperion. The location finalized within the next couple of days. We'll know the final location.
And they can find out more where at
GlendalePhilharmonic.com. Okay. Or GlendalePhil.com, or again, just Google Glendale Philharmonic. It's really easy to remember. And we love you. Stay with us next time. Whenever
we'll
you
be
see
back. I'll have all you guys back
whenever the Russian guy's back.
You're always here. You're here at least once a month.
Yeah.
You're a regular. You're the most regular.
Never thought I would be able to speak so much, to talk so much.
I love it. You're an amazing guest.
I do have to say one thing.
Your
you want to check out my producing stuff, just go to soundcloud.com/magronic, MAGRONIC, and This is on top of what I do. This is away from what I do with the violin and other stuff.
And then you have it. I went to your website. What's your website?
My violin website?
Whatever, the pretty one with the picture of you. Yeah, it has to be because you're there like
That's
this.
EdgarSandoval.com. EdgarSandoval.com.
Yeah, and you can see how cute he. Well, if you're watching if you're listening on iTunes, you can't see how cute he is. You can see his very cute picture.
My picture there.
Yeah.
And Maestro, to conclude our broadcast, couple of words.
I couldn't have said it any better than you did.
Oh, God.
Yeah. You should be his manager, Ruslan.
Yeah, and anyway, it's great to be here. I think
we'll have this gang back again. You guys were really good, and we still didn't touch on a lot of things that I wanted to touch about. So, probably at the beginning of the year, it's a good time to have you guys back when kids have gotten instruments for Christmas or Hanukkah, and then the parents don't know what to do with them.
That's great. Yeah. Yeah, because I think the important thing is to get your children involved in music, no matter what it is.
That's a great way to end the show.
Yeah.
Let's end it on that. All right, everybody. Have a really great week. Oh, I got to tell you who's coming next week. This is going to be a really fun show. I always forget. Next week I have Peter Bedard coming, and her name is Ali. But anyway, it's going to be a really good show. It's all going to be about health. He has this amazing tea store downtown, Create Your Own Health. So it's going to be a great show. So that's who's coming next week. So everybody, get outside, get some exercise like Ruth and I. Listen to some, listen to some classical music. If you're in your car, treat yourself to some classical music, especially if you're in traffic.
Yeah.
It will really keep you calmed down. All right, everybody, let's say goodbye.
Bye. Bye.
Thank you for tuning into LA Talk Live and the Talk Live Broadcast Network, original reality radio, handcrafted for your listening and viewing pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we are more than just talk. Stay tuned.